Hi guys, welcome back. What's up? In this video, we're building something very interesting. We're building a Slackbot that calculates age using GOLANG. So if you're a beginner GOLANG developer, this video is perfect for you because you get to practice your GOLANG skills in an environment that's very interesting, which is basically the Slack platform. But if you're an advanced GOLANG developer, then this video might not make a lot of sense to you unless you're trying to actually learn how to build a Slackbot, in which case it'll make a lot of sense to you. So anyways, without any delays, let's get started. So the prerequisites to this video are that you should have a Slack account, right? Obviously, that's how you'll build a Slack bot, right? So you should have a Slack account. You should have a workspace in your Slack, and you should be the admin of that workspace. Only then you'll be able to build a bot, right, in Slack. And then you have to come to this link, api.slack.com/apps, and this is where we'll be able to start our apps. So I'll say create new app, and ask me two different questions from scratch or from an app manifest. So in this case, I'll be building a bot from scratch. I'll call it the age bot, right, and I'll give it my workspace. And now we have to find socket mode on the left. It's the third button on the left, right, socket mode, and we have to enable it, and we'll call it socket token. So this will generate an app token for us, XAPP. So when it says XAPP, it is your app token, and when it says XOB, it's your bot token, right? XOXB, that'll be your bot token. So you can make a note of this. You can copy this. I won't copy it right now. I'll come back for it later on in the video. So this is that was your app token, and now let's go for our event subscriptions, which is the third button. The fourth button from the last, right? And we have to enable our event subscriptions. We have to subscribe to bot events, and let's add some events, right? So events are basically something that our bot would be subscribed to. So these are socket events. So I'll say app mention whenever somebody mentions my bot, and I'll say message history, and I'll say message.im, right? It can read messages. And then messages.channel, messages.mbim, right? So these are the events that I think my bot would need to be subscribed to. But then there's always, you can always come back and tweak them later on if you, by mistake, if you leave out any, and you can always, this is mostly, you'll get these by trial and error. Right, so I've built more than 50 Slack bots, so I know, and this is a tip for you as well, that it's always better to add more events than less, because and also now what we'll do is we'll add OAuth and permissions. So come to this option above event subscriptions. So OAuth and permissions, also you have to add some permissions like scopes to your bot. These are very similar to your event subscriptions. So here also it's always recommended with event subscriptions and with OAuth and permissions, it's recommended that you add more than you need, because most of the errors that you'll face when building Slack bots would be around your bot not having enough permissions or authorizations or authentication. Those will be the kind of errors that you'll face. So it's better to always add these so that you don't have to deal with a lot of errors right later on. So I'll just add some regarding chat write, and let's say channels read, right, and then say I am read and I am write. These are direct. IAMs are basically direct messages. MP I am read and MP I am write. Also I'll add, right, and I don't think I need any more permissions for now, but if I have any errors, then I'll come back here and I'll add those permissions, right? And the problem with building Slack bots is sometimes you don't even get an error, and your bot doesn't respond properly, and it doesn't give you the behavior that you're expecting it to give you, and those problems are mostly revolving around scopes, right? So there are so many errors on Stack Overflow when you go, and you won't find answers to those problems, because most of them are around scopes. Those aren't even errors. Like people would be saying my Slack bot isn't working and those kind of issues, right? So those are all around scopes. I can tell you that from experience. Anyhow, what we'll do now is we'll actually click on install this to workspace, and it'll ask me for some permissions. I'll say allow. So that means now AgeBot is installed to my workspace, and it has given me a bot user OAuth token, right? So I need to make a copy of this as well. So now what we'll do is, since we have our credentials in place, now it's time to actually start building the bot in Golang, right? So I'm in my directory where I keep most of my Golang code, and I'm going to create a directory for this particular project called Slack Age Bot. Sorry for the wrong spelling of age. And I'm going to go inside this directory. And here what I'm going to say is I'm going to go mod init github.com/akhil/slack. I'll say Slack Age Bot is the name of the project. So this is an absolute link that helps me to import other files in my project. And in this particular project, we don't have multiple files. We are going to only going to have the main.go file. But if this was a bigger project, then this would have been very, very helpful. And also using github.com, helps a lot, because later on, if you have to push this to GitHub and then use it as a package in your own project later on, or somebody else has to use it as a package in their project, it's very, very useful. So this is a best practice. You can always init your Go programs like this. So we'll init it, and it is taking some time. I don't know why. Okay, that's done. And there is one external package that we need. So I have to run the go get command, and the package that I need is github.com/shoma-lee11/slacker. All right. And just to be sure, I'll say go mod tidy. Okay. And so we have added the package that we want. So if we ls right now, we'll see our go mod and go some file, which is perfect, which is exactly what we want. So now what we'll do is we'll open up our code editor. Which is VS Code in our case. In my case, you can have any other code editor that you want, but VS Code works best for me. So I'm going to use VS Code. And now we'll start writing our code. As you know, the main file in a Go program is called main.go, and the first thing that you have to write is package main. Then you have to import some packages. I know that I'll be needing the context package. I know I'll be needing fmt to print out stuff, and log is something that I'll be needing. I'll be needing os package. And the most important thing that I'll be needing is the external package that I installed, right? So I'll say shoma-lee11/slacker. Now if you're if you're coming from a JavaScript background, so what I did there with go get command is simply npm install, right? It's exact equivalent. So it creates those entries in your go mod and go some file, which is almost like your if you're from a Flutter background, it's almost like a pubspec YAML file or pubspec.log file. And if you're from a Node.js background, it's like a package.json and package.json.log files. That's what these are. It's very, very similar concept, right? And so what we're doing here is we are going to write our main function, func main. And in func main, I'm going to set my environments, right? So I'll say now you can set your environment in an env file, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use my os package to actually set environments, and I'll say Slackbot token, okay, comma, and here I need to copy and paste my Slackbot token, and then I'll say set environment Slack app token, right? So far so good. And now what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and get my tokens from the Slack. This is my bot token, so I'll copy this and I'll paste it here. This is my bot token. All right, and here is my and to find my main token, I have to come here. This is the socket token that we created. That is the XAPP one. That is our main app token. So I'll copy and paste that here as well. So far so good. And now we have to create a bot, right? So we'll say bot, an assignment operator, or the walrus operator, whatever you want to call it, slacker dot new client, and we'll say os dot get environment. We'll say Slack bot token, and we'll say comma os dot get environment Slack app token. Now you don't have to have set environment, get environment. You can directly pass the tokens here directly, right, inside the new client function. But why I'm doing this is because this makes your program more extensible. So later on, when you have to extend your program and you have those environment files or you have a production environment where you have these tokens, or you're using some program that manages all your credentials, then this comes in very handy. So I'm just getting you in the habit of going the right way from the beginning. So here we'll start a go routine, which will it doesn't do any much, it just prints command events. So we'll say command events. By command events I mean like let's say whenever I pass a command to my Slackbot, so whatever it does, whatever the way it handles the event and the event itself, it's going to print it out, right? So this means that print command events needs to be a function which we have not created right now. So let's create that function. So we'll say func print command events, and we'll say analytics channel, and Chan creates a channel, and we'll say slacker dot command event, which basically we're passing here, right? And here we'll say for event, we're going to range over the analytics event analytics channel, and we're going to print out a couple of things. So we're going to print out the timestamp, as in when the command was received by Slack, right, and the command itself and the parameters that we have passed to that command, and the event, right? So let's get started. So we'll say print ln, and here I'll say command events, and then I'll say fmt dot print ln, and I'll say event dot timestamp. Like I said, we need the timestamp. fmt dot print ln event dot command, and fmt dot print ln. By the way, all of this is totally optional. You don't have to do all this. Like I'm printing out in my console whenever any event takes place in my program, but you don't have to do this. Event dot event, and then just an empty line. We'll print an empty line, print ln. Okay, so far so good. Now comes the real function, the most important function. But before that, we need to write some code to actually stop our bot. ctx cancel context dot with cancel and context dot background. If you're a Golang beginner, I'm sure you already know what context does and what differ is. Differ basically make sure that the cancel is all like played, or this function is called towards the end, like when this function is about to end, right? So that's what differ does. And error is equal to bot dot listen. Your bot will listen to the context. If there is an error, which means if error is not equal to null, you're going to log out the fatal. Log.fatal. Fatal is the function that logs out the error. So we have used our log package that we had here. We've used our OS package to set the environments. We have used our FMT package to print out stuff. And all we need to do now is use the Slacker package, right? Now let's create the program that we need to create. So that program is bot.command. So we have the bot. We've created the bot here, right? And here we need to say bot.command. So this is where the magic is happening. my year of birth is, and you pass a parameter inside here. So this with these two angular brackets is the parameter, and you'll say ampersand slacker dot command definition, and this is the description of the command. So we'll say, you know, YOB calculator, and just give an example. Sorry, example. My YOB is here 2020. All right, so this is an example, and then we give it a handler. So handler is where we handle this event using a function which takes the bot context, slacker dot bot context, and we pass it the request. So as if whenever we have any functions that you know, work with HTTP kind of data or socket data, you know, you have to have request and response, right? And request will be slacker dot request, and response will be slacker, which is the package again, dot response writer. So slacker dot request, slacker dot response writer, we are using the slacker package here. All right, so everything makes sense till now. I hope everything makes sense till now. It's giving us one error. I don't know where the error is, but anyhow, so let's create this error. So we'll say year is equal to request dot param here. So whatever here has been passed. So when the user says my YOB is here, this param we'll get into a variable called here right now using this, and then we'll have a variable called YOB. So we'll say string convert dot ATOI here will convert into here. So now this means that I need another package called string convert, because this is not native to Golang. This is a package in the Golang library, right? So we have to get string convert as well. So far so good. So we have our here in YOB, and then if error not equal to nil, we'll say print ln error. Okay, and then we'll say age not equal to, sorry, age equal to 2021 minus YOB. To calculate age, all you have to do is year of birth has to be subtracted from the current year that's going on right now, which is 2021. If you didn't do this, right, if you don't use string convert and ATOI function, you would have this in a string format, and you won't be able to subtract it here. Golang won't allow it. So to have a number, to get a number from string, you have to do this, and only then you can perform a subtraction operation, right? Because Golang is a statically typed language. You can't subtract a string and a sprint and an int. So we'll say sprintf, which formats our string for us. Age is %d, comma age. We'll say response dot reply r. So in age we store 2021 minus YOB, which is the age, and then we format it out like this with this text, and then we reply this. Now I'm getting two errors. One is this. So we don't have this package. It's saying Somali 11. We should have had it because we added it. I did add it actually. So let me say again, go get github.com/somali11/slacker. So it says it has added this package. Then I don't know why my VS Code is acting up, and then it doesn't seem to have any more errors. This is the only error that it says there is. There could be an issue with the spelling though. I mean, now there's no squiggly line, so everything seems to be all right. And then it's giving me a red squiggly line out here. I don't know why. Let me check. So it says bot command. Okay, yes, so my mistake. This function definition, we can't close it out here. This needs to be closed somewhere out here. And here there needs to be a comma. Now there shouldn't be an error now. And yes, the spelling of command events is wrong, so I've corrected that as well. Now it's a question of I think counting these brackets. So I'm just going through it again. I have written the description of the command line, the description, and there's the example, there's the handler, func, request and response. Then I have the year, then I have IOB, print line, age 2021, printf, response to reply. Everything seems to be all right to me. But it seems there's still one error, right? So it says in the event.parameters there's an issue. Yeah, that's because the spelling of parameters is wrong. And now, as you can see, we don't have any issues. I'm using a GOLANG plugin that helps me to find these errors without actually running the code, so which is very helpful. Now what we'll do is we'll say go build to see if there are any errors. There seem to be no errors. It has created the .exe file for us. And what we'll do now is we'll head over to our Slack channel, and here we will be expecting our bot once we start the bot, right? We start the program. And so let's do that. Let's actually start our program. So go run main.go. So it says connected to Slack with socket mode. That means everything should be fine. And so here I'll say AgeBot, and I'll say AgeBot. My YOB is 1990. So it says the Slackbot says that you mentioned AgeBot, but they're not in this channel. So I'll say invite them, and then AgeBot automatically replies age is 31. Awesome, right? So you'll say AgeBot. My YOB is 1995. We'll say age is 26. Isn't that awesome? So I hope you learned a lot in this video, and you were able to understand how to actually apply your GOLANG skills and how to build a Slack bot, right? And how to get the tokens from Slack, how to add those permissions, and how to enable socket mode. All of those things are really important in building a Slack bot. And also this kind of function and the package that we've used, Slacker, right? That makes making a Slack bot really easy. So if you're liking this video, then do subscribe, because I come up with this kind of content almost every day. So if you subscribe, you'll come to know whenever a new update comes up. And thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.